Today, by request, I'm going to teach you how to make chicken pad thai. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist. It's just not a thing. If you go to Thailand and order chicken pad thai, they'll laugh at you. They'll think you're cray-cray. We don't do that there. A traditional pad thai is not supposed to have any meat in it, except dried shrimp, which is more like a condiment. The only meat that we usually put in it is either prawn or shrimp, but not beef, not pork, and definitely not chicken. But don't get me wrong here. I don't think it's illegal to put chicken or any other meat besides shrimp or prawn. I made pad thai with pork before, but I think you should know what is a traditional dish is. So next time you order pad thai, you can enjoy the dish and you can enjoy the culture as well. Now, let's try to make pad thai. I guarantee you that it's not going to be like pad thai from most restaurants outside Thailand. First, you have to get all the ingredients, and this is probably the most important part of making pad thai. You either get it online, which I'm going to put all the links of the ingredients in the description box, or you can get it from an Asian grocery store, which is we're going to do right now. I'm going to teach you how to get all the ingredients, what to look for. Let's go. Chinese chives. Chives and Chinese chives are not the same. Chinese chives looks like flat blades of grass. Chives is hollow. If you can't find Chinese chives, please omit this ingredient. Don't substitute it with green onion. Sweet preserved radish. Please don't get the salted one. They're not the same. Cooking tamarind. This is one of the key ingredients to make pad thai. There are two kinds that you can choose from. The first one is the dry pulp that you have to dissolve in water before using it. The second one is the concentrated one. It comes in a can. I recommend you to use this one. It's very convenient. You can find it online as well. Just make sure that it's from Thailand. Coconut sugar or palm sugar. Comparing to normal white sugar, this one is more mellow and very fragrant. Next, dried shrimp. This is the source of umami. This one is probably too small. This one is probably too big. I like the medium size. And disclosure to white people, this one smells funky. Our next ingredient is tofu. You might think you can easily find it in a normal grocery store, but those are not firm enough. You have to get the extra firm. You can squeeze a bit to check because you don't want it to fall apart when you stir fry it. Usually it comes in a vacuum sealed bag. Please pick your fish sauce that comes from Thailand, like for example this brand. The noodle. This is the soft one. Look for this one first. The soft one is easier to use, since you can use it instantly. If you can't find this brand, look for pho noodle, or in English, pho. And if you can't find any, then you have to get the dried one. I know it's very overwhelming. Everything says rice noodle. So look for something like this, or you can see on the package that it says pad thai noodle. Sometimes it says rice sticks, and today I'll be using the dry one. The first ingredient is the noodle. If you have the dry one, you have to soak it in the water to rehydrate it. Follow the instructions behind the package for how long you have to soak it for. Room temp water is enough. I soak mine for about 20 minutes. For dried shrimp, you soak it at least 5 minutes. Unsalted roasted peanuts. Grind it up coarsely. You can also use a food processor to do this. Chinese chives. Cut the bottom part out and then cut them into about 1.5 inches long. For shallots, slice thinly. Now let's make the sauce. I'm making for 2 servings. In a small saucepan, medium-low heat, 4 tablespoons of cooking tamarind. 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar or palm sugar. The last ingredient for the sauce is fish sauce. I put about 2 tablespoons. At this point, you cook it until the sugar is soft. You don't have to reduce it. When it's done, set it aside. I recommend you to use a wok if you have one. If you don't, try to use something with some depth. I use medium-high heat, wait a second till the pan is hot enough, and then put some oil in. This is a stir-fried dish. You might want to add at least a few tablespoons. I put tofu first because tofu takes a little bit of time to cook. Then shallots, sweetened radish, and dried shrimp. Those ingredients are the extra flavors to the dish. Cook it for less than a minute, or depends on how hot your stove is. The indication that shows they are cooked is when the radish turns white. What I'm showing you right now is for one serving. Before you start making it, I would suggest that you have everything laid out within arm's reach so you don't forget anything. Then it's the time for the noodle. This is a very important step. After you add the noodle, you have to add some water to cook the noodle with. How much water you put in varies to what brand of the noodle you use. I would say you start at 1/3 of a cup. Then you might have to add a bit more if the noodle starts to stick together or dry up. Keep stirring it in a circular motion using the corner of your ladle or tongs. Toss and turn occasionally. Do this for about 2 minutes or until the noodle is cooked. Have a bite to check it. Please do, because once you put the sauce in, it will stop the cooking process, and if your noodle is not cooked, it is not going to get cooked furthermore. Now, add about 4 tablespoons of the sauce. Stir it the same way for a minute. The most important ingredients besides the noodle is the sauce. In the sauce, you have tamarind that gives you an earthy, tangy flavor. Then you have the sweetness from coconut sugar and the extra umami from fish sauce. If you omit other ingredients, I think it's totally fine and it will still be pad thai. But if you miss the sauce, then it's unlikely going to be pad thai. Next, put chives and bean sprouts in. Be generous, because those will shrink a lot. It's kind of hard to see that I stir with the corner of the ladle so I don't cut the noodle, but try to do that or whatever works for you until the vegetables are cooked. Now it's time for the egg. Some people like to put the egg before the noodle, but I like to put it last. So make a little space, some oil, put the egg in, scramble it. Then fold the noodle on top of it. It shouldn't take a long time to cook the egg with the remaining heat. So go ahead and turn off the heat. And it's done. Serve it with fresh bean sprouts and chives on the side. Garnish it with some peanuts that we prepared earlier. You can season it with some red pepper flakes to add some heat to it. Squeeze a slice of lime on top and then it's ready for you. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.